necessary for aviation developments and cater for the market demands. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a brief insight of the BASA to be signed gives me a confidence as it has embodied the principle of business and effective regulatory controls for airline destinations, authorization of non-discriminatory airline self-handling, fair competition, open consultation between contracting parties, as well as unlimited capacities between Julius Nyerere International Airport, Abedi Amani Karume International Airport, and Kilimanjaro International Airport for the United Republic of Tanzania, as well as agreed respective regional and international destinations of the Republic of France. The signing of BASA will create a capacity demand, allow a great market access to support growth and competition in the airport transport sector. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that the implementation of BASA will substantially increase air traffic movements for key targeted markets in the world, which include key airports, hub points that transit a large volume of passengers and goods. I strongly believe that direct flight between Geneva, AAKI, and Kia and the metropolitan France will increase the number of guests in Tanzania coming from the France, Europe, and the rest of the world through the airline networks and connections. I have also been informed that Air France is in the final stages to commence direct flight between our two sister nations. This is indeed a great move to make. I also urge ATCL to make plans to start direct flights between our two countries. Again, this will facilitate the travel between our two countries and boost existing economic activities. The increase in flight will also stimulate aeronautical and non-aeronautical revenues, thus improve the aviation business for our two countries. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, with these few remarks, I hope that the conclusion of bilateral air services agreement, BASA today, will lead to the closer ties between the economy and the people of the United Republic of Tanzania and the Republic of France. Thank you very much for attention. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Profesa Makame Mnyambarawa, Waziri wa Ujenzi na Uchukuzi wa Serikali ya Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, before we proceed to signing agreement of air service agreement between the government of France and the Tanzania Civil Aviation Agency, allow me to welcome Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, for a few words before we proceed for the signing ceremony. Karibu sana kwa mara ya pili.
Yes, thank you so much. Good morning again. I'm now pleased to announce that we are going to sign two major agreements. The first one is a new bilateral air service agreement. French and Tanzania air companies have been working for decades under the framework of an agreement that has become inadequate to cope with the increase of air traffic between the two countries. In October 2021, Air France launched a direct flight from Paris to Zanzibar, and next June they will extend this connection to Dar es Salaam. On its side, Air Tanzania has the appetite to expand its connection to French territories, first of all to Mayotte and later to Paris. The French and Tanzanian civil aviation authorities agreed to expand the number of flight slots given to the airline companies of each country. This agreement will boost significantly the trade and tourism between both countries. So thank you very much, and let's sign.
Thank you very much. Asante sana. His Excellency, guest of honor, allow me now to call Professor Makame Mnyambalawa, Minister of Works and Transport, to proceed to the signing table, and Honorable Olivier Bech, Minister Delegates for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from the Government of France, to proceed to the signing table. Brass band, please get ready for fanfare during the signing ceremony.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, miongoni mwa mambo ambayo tutashuhudia katika kongamano hili la siku mbili la wafanyabiashara na wawekezaji kutoka Umoja wa Ulaya na Tanzania ni pamoja na kusainiwa kwa mikataba mbalimbali ya makubaliano baina ya pande hizi mbili, ambapo kwa kuanzia hapo sasa hivi mkataba ambao unaenda kusainiwa, mtazamaji, ni mkataba kati ya nchi ya Ufaransa pamoja na Tanzania kufanya mashirikiano kwenye sekta ya anga, usafirishaji wa anga, kama ambavyo waziri wa ujenzi na uchukuzi Profesa Makame Mbarawa ameeleza hapo awali, ambapo katika makubaliano hayo yatasaidia kurahisisha usafirishaji wa anga kati ya Tanzania pamoja na Ufaransa, na pia itasaidia kwa ukaribu zaidi katika nchi nyingine pia za Umoja wa Ulaya. Na miongoni mwa katika makubaliano hayo, miongoni mwa mambo ambayo Tanzania tutafaidika ni kwamba kutakuwa na usafirishaji kutoka Ufaransa na kutoka katika viwanja vyetu vya ndege vya kimataifa hapa nchini Tanzania, ikiwemo uwanja wa kimataifa wa Mwalimu Julius Nyerere Dar es Salaam, uwanja wa kimataifa wa ndege wa Kilimanjaro KIA, pamoja na uwanja wa kimataifa wa ndege wa Karume kule Zanzibar. Na kama ambavyo waziri Mbarawa ameeleza hapo awali, hivi karibuni kutakuwa na ndege ya kufanya safari zake moja kwa moja kutoka Ufaransa kuja nchini Tanzania, na kama ambavyo wanaonyesha tayari makubaliano hayo yamesha sainiwa. Na pia akatoa wito kwa shirika la ndege la Tanzania ATCL nao kuanzisha safari ya moja kwa moja kutoka Tanzania kwenda Ufaransa.
Air service agreement between the government of United Republic of Tanzania and the government of France is done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, next memorandum of understanding will be between the Port of Antwerp International and the Tanzania Port Authority. Allow me to call Mr. Plastus Mbosa, Director General Tanzania Ports Authority, for few words before the signing. Mbosa, for few words.
Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidori Mpango, the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Ashantu Kijaji, Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Honorable guests from the European Union, Honorable Ministers present at this forum, Honorable Ambassadors present at this forum, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of the Tanzania Ports Authority, we are delighted to participate in this business forum which, as among other things, will witness the signing of the MOU between the Tanzania Ports Authority and the Port of Antwerp Bruges of Belgium. I would like to say this opportunity to thank the coordinators for this special forum, and specifically the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, and the European Union. The forum has given us this opportunity to share the views on port industries and culminating in signing of the MOU that we will sign soon. On part of the port and the MOU that we are going to sign include, among other things, the following areas of cooperation. The first area will be consultancies on preparation and implementation of port infrastructure development plans. Honorable Vice President, the second area of cooperation will be the supervision of strategic port projects between the government and the private sector. Honorable Vice President, as you're aware, we are moving from being the operators of the port to landlord, and we are looking forward to let in private operators and developers of the port to develop and operate our ports. The third area of cooperation is on the advisory on the PPP contracts, specifically preparation of the contracts and the supervision of the same. And the last area is on the technical training in all areas of port industry. Your Excellency Vice President, through this MOU, TPA expects to enhance efficiency of the port industry and stimulate other economic activities that depend on the efficiency of the port. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Guest of Honor. Allow me to welcome Mario Rieven, Director, Port of Antwerp, Bruges International, Belgium, for a few words before we proceed to the signing table. Welcome here. Yes, yeah. Few words, yes.
Thank you, Honorable Vice President, Honorable Ministers, Honorable Delegates of the EU. It's an honor to be here on the stage and sign this MOU, which will be the start of a collaboration where we, together with TPA and its team, will develop the gateway to Tanzania, and its 8 neighbor countries, of which 6 are landlocked, to develop an attractive port platform, including not only port operations, but also logistics and industrial activity, to really anchor the added value of the geostrategic position that Tanzania has. And so looking forward to do this shoulder to shoulder in a co-creation and provide opportunities for investors from Europe, Tanzania, and East Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, His Excellency, Guest of Honor. Allow me once again to welcome His Excellency Peter, Ambassador of Belgium to Tanzania, for a few words before we proceed to signing table. Ambassador, you are welcome for a few words.
Your Excellency Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, honorable ministers, distinguished guests. Tanzania is strategically located in the center of East Africa, sharing borders with 8 countries, of which 6 are landlocked, including Eastern DRC, which is looking eastward. This makes your country an important gateway to the region. Tanzania's ports form a network of critical nodes of seaports, lake ports, river ports, and dry ports that can help further unlock this tremendous potential. Tanzania Ports Authority stands before a pivotal moment in its history, and the Port of Antwerp-Bruges International stands ready to accompany TPA in its endeavors. The Port of Antwerp-Bruges is one of the largest ports in the world and the most important port for trade between the EU and Africa. With a vast experience in teaming up at ports worldwide through capacity building and advisory services, but also as a manager and investor in port projects in Latin America, Africa, Middle East, and Asia. Through their partnership, Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and TPA want to join forces with a view to further developing the existing port infrastructure and superstructure as an engine for the sustainable, inclusive development of Tanzania and as an industrial and logistics hub for the region. Platforms where added value and jobs are generated rather than merely generating import and export flows. TPA and POABI can therefore be seen as important public actors ready to implement the strategy and objectives of EU's Global Gateway Initiative here in Tanzania. Port of Antwerp-Bruges International and Antwerp-Flanders Port Training Center have been working together since 1979 with Tanzania Ports Authority on a sustainable partnership with a focus on capacity building. As part of this partnership, APIC, as it is called, has already welcomed over 100 employees from TPA to its training programs in Antwerp. This collaboration between both organizations was further strengthened in the past year and is resulting now in the signing of a mutually beneficial memorandum of understanding for consultancy, studies and exchange on various sport-related activities, as well as training and capacity upscaling. I won't dwell on the aim of the MOU, which was already explained by the DG and the Director of Antwerp. What I still wanted to conclude with is that by strengthening the existing port infrastructure of Dar es Salaam, capitalizing on its geostrategic position to improve the hinterland connectivity through this development of dry ports and lake ports, and preparing for additional capacity in the near future, Tanzania, its economy and its people have much to win from their ports. So my sincerest congratulations to both parties, whom I now invite to solemnly sign the much valued Memorandum of Understanding. Hongera sana, kazi iendelee.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1, ambacho kinashuhudiwa hivi sasa ni mkurugenzi mkuu wa mamlaka ya bandari nchini Tanzania akiwa anasaini mkataba wa makubaliano na mtendaji kutoka bandari ya Antwerp ya Ubelgiji, ambapo katika makubaliano hayo bandari hizi mbili zitashirikiana, mamlaka hizi mbili zitashirikiana katika maeneo mbalimbali, ikiwemo katika eneo la uangalizi wa miradi mbalimbali ambayo itakuwa inatekelezwa na bandari hapa nchini, itakayokuwa inatekelezwa na mamlaka ya bandari nchini Tanzania TPA, kama ambavyo mkurugenzi mkuu wa TPA amebainisha kwamba mamlaka ya bandari kwenye baadhi ya bandari itajitoa kuacha watu wengine waendeshe bandari. Kwa hiyo na maana wao watawasaidia sana kwenye kuangazia maendeleo ya miradi mbalimbali ambayo itakuwa inatekelezwa na mamlaka hiyo. Lakini pia ushirikiano huo na mamlaka hayo ya bandari kutoka Ubelgiji, ambapo ni bandari ya Antwerp, pia itasaidia katika kutoa mafunzo ya kiufundi katika maeneo yote ya bandari kwa mamlaka ya bandari hapa nchini. Kwa hiyo mpaka sasa hivi tumeshashuhudia kusainiwa kwa mikataba miwili ya ushirikiano, ambapo wa kwanza tumeshuhudia ushirikiano kwenye sekta ya anga kati ya Tanzania na na Ufaransa, na sasa hivi tumeshuhudia sasa ushirikiano kwenye sekta ya bandari, ambapo tunaona mamlaka ya bandari nchini TPA na ushirikiano kutoka bandari ya Antwerp ya Ubelgiji.
Director, please proceed to podium for a few words before we proceed to signing table.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to say a few words about this very, very important project. Thank you, and allow me to start by really thanking the Agence Française de Développement for good cooperation and hard work that has been invested in this project. It will create great opportunities and help stimulate long-term economic development in the Kagera region. There is great value in collaboration, and that is what we are also celebrating today. In response to the emerging need for energy supply in the region, we designed this project together with the AFD to stabilize power supply in northwest Tanzania and to supply renewable energy power to the national grid. So this construction shows our commitment to support our partners in speed up their green transition and move towards a circular economy. The EU contribution, which is a contribution of 36 million in grant funding, will support the implementation of environmental management plan and the upgrade of the Kayaka substation and the preparatory works for the installation of the 400 kilowatt switchgear. It will allow to inject Kakono power directly into the Tanzania-Uganda interconnection. The EU grant will reduce borrowing costs for the government and for this investment, and this should result also in more affordable energy prices for the final users. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, once again allow me to call Celine Robert, Country Director of Agence France de Development, AFD, for few words. Proceed to podium for few words.
Asante sana, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Nabibi na mabwana. It's a great honor for us to be here today and to sign this memorandum of cooperation for this project that is reinforcing the cooperation between the French Development Agency and the government of Tanzania. We've been working in preparing this investment for a while, and it's at the last stage of validation by the government of Tanzania. So this project will actually complement the portfolio of investment of the French Development Agency in the country that is amounting to more than 500 million euros, and that is covering generation of power, transmission, and also distribution networks to provide support to the vision of the government of Tanzania and their strategy to invest in the energy sector. So I thank you very much, and I leave the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, now is Ed Mark from the African Development Bank. Allow me to call Madam Patricia Lavery, Country Director of the African Development Bank, for a few words. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. HABARI Subuhi. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Dr. Olivier Becht, Minister of Foreign Trade, bonjour, monsieur, and to our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. On behalf of the African Development Bank, it is our distinct privilege and honor to be part of this important Tanzania-EU Business Forum aimed at increasing support to the government of Tanzania. For us at the African Development Bank, on December 16th, 2022, the board of the African Development Bank approved $161 million as its own contribution to the construction of the Kakono hydropower plant. The overall cost of the project is $308 million, of which the EU is providing $110 million, Agence Française is involved, and so on, but we are contributing $161 million for the construction of the plant. The Kakono hydropower project is a vital intervention that is part of the African Development Bank's country strategy for 2021 to 2025. Our strategy is focused on two work streams. The first is sustainable infrastructure for a competitive economy and improved private sector business environment aimed at job creation, of which the Kakono hydropower project is strategically aligned with. In terms of the specific activities that the African Development Bank will be supporting, first, we would support the civil works, the procurement of the electromagnetic equipment, as well as the overall supervision, financial management, and technical assistance for the project. The African Development Bank, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, deeply values its partnership with the European Union, and we look forward to further deepening our strong collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A few remarks from African Development Bank. His Excellency Guest of Honor, allow me once again to welcome Olivier Becht, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, for just a minute. Just a minute.
Yes, thank you. I think that's already said, so it's a great project. It's good for Tanzania, it's good for the planet, for the climate, and good for humanity. So let's sign it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, allow me to call the following person to proceed to signing table. Ant Kunen, Serene Robert, and Patricia Lavery to proceed to signing table. And allow me to request a pleasure of the following key person. One is His Excellency Ambassador Nyamanga Justice, Ambassador of Tanzania to EU. His Excellency Manfredo Fant, European Head of Delegation to Tanzania. Ambassador of Tanzania in Paris and the Ambassador of France in Tanzania to proceed to signing table to witness the deal. His Excellency, this deal will involve the construction of a line of the river hydropower plant in the Kagera region, northwestern Tanzania, with an installed capacity of 87 megawatt. Yeah. Yes. Here we go. And associated 38.8 kilometer of 132 kVA transmission line to evacuate power to an existing substation at Kiaka. The new hydropower plant is expected to replace several diesel generators based on the planned capacity. It is estimated that the plant will reduce GHG emission by 213,810 tons per year. The additional capacity will also improve reliability of the supply. Please, brass band. Deal done. Thank you very much. His Excellency, guest of honor, after 3 signing of MOU, please allow me now to welcome the announcement of private sector investment by KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited. So here we are going to have a video, special video, no any words, but for a minute, 1 or 2 minutes, we are going to watch a video. Yes, let's proceed for a video.
So I'm just going to start off by giving a bit of context on KNAF. KNAF had its humble beginning starting in 1932. It's a multinational with its head office in Germany, a 12.6 billion euro multinational. It's got 300 manufacturing facilities, 40,000 people working for it, and present in 19 countries. Tanzania investment or acquisitions has started in 2015, and to date, KNAF has invested in Tanzania 268 billion shilling, with its German manufacturing facility being commissioned in 2020 and a further capacity extension that will be commissioned in 2025. That would make KNAF the biggest plasterboard manufacturer in sub-Sahara Africa, and that will be in Tanzania. So why specifically Tanzania? It's the abundance of the raw material, it's the ease of investing. Especially the last 18 months, we've seen an improvement working with the TIC, one-stop shop that really made the investment easy, as well as getting the contract signed. That's beneficial for the government as well as that for KNAF. So if there's any advice that I could sort of give to the EU for further support, it's to encourage local production, for example, and then when the local production is present, support it, because otherwise what would be the benefit of asking for further investment in the country? Importation of key raw materials, especially like an investor like ourselves, material or paper is one of the biggest contributors. There we need to see what could be the importation duty benefits for the material like paper. And logistic solutions. One of the key reasons that KNAF invested in Tanzania, the natural market to Tanzania is our neighboring countries. But how do we serve them logistically? So I think this is also something where we could see how the government could support that could unlock even further investment. If there's any advice I could give, I think it's time now in Tanzania, where if we look at census, we're talking about 60 million people present in the country. This is going to lead to a lot of urbanization. That's going to put a lot of pressure on infrastructure. So let's invest now, and even that in itself leads to a lot of opportunities for the future.
Thank you very much for a video which explains what KNIFE is doing in Tanzania with regard to gypsum production. His Excellency, Guest of Honor, after the video, please allow me to welcome Her Excellency Regina S., Ambassador of Germany to Tanzania, for few remarks. You are welcome.
Mgeni rasmi na bibi na mabwana, habari ya asubuhi. KNAUF, this is how you pronounce it, KNAUF, is a family-owned enterprise. The family-owned enterprises in Germany are the backbone of the German economy, specifically the small and medium enterprises. These enterprises are the ones which venture out and about to seek opportunities abroad. They have the courage and they seek new opportunities. KNAUF has found the opportunities here in Tanzania, and the government of Tanzania has realized what KNAUF has to offer. So KNAUF was recognized as strategic investor. They have started a factory, as you have seen in the video. KNAUF International produces insulation materials, dry lining systems, plasters, thermal insulation, composite systems, paints, floor screeds, floor systems, and others. Here in Tanzania, under KNAUF Gypsum Tanzania Limited, they're mainly producing plasterboards. The partnership with Tanzania is working well, as you have heard from Ilse Boshoff. She is the regional director for East Africa. She was the one in the video, and she sits over there. The partnership has had hiccups. As an investor in Tanzania, you need patience, determination, understanding. But the partnership, all in all, works well enough, and as we have heard, has improved over the last 18 months. And the German government is believing in this partnership. The government has issued state guarantees for the investment of KNAUF. So KNAUF has decided to invest additional 115 billion Tanzanian shillings that will triple the production by 2025. There's no signing, which seems to be less than an MOU signing, but actually this is a real investment which already exists and has already created lots of jobs. As a German ambassador, I'm very proud to be announcing this. Thank you very much.
His Excellency, Guest of Honor, next few remarks is coming from Tanzania Investment Center. Allow me to welcome Mr. Johnny Mnali, Acting Executive Director, Tanzania Investment Center, for a few words.
Good morning. My name is Gilead Terry. I'm the Executive Director of Tanzania Investment Center. Your Excellency, Dr. Philip Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, just for a minute, allow me to say what this investment means to the people of Tanzania. So now, KNAUF Gypsum Limited is a huge and important partner to TIC. They are our strategic investors. That's why I have to come here personally to speak about them. Their registration was effected at our investment center on the 7th of December, 2015. Their initial investment was around $105 million, which translates to about 268 billion Tanzanian shillings. They have invested since then, and on November 19th, 2021, they were granted by the 33rd National Investment Steering Committee, NISC meeting, a strategic investor status. And the strategic investor status just grants them additional incentives, but it also helps them do the business that they were doing with much more relative ease and close support from the institution that I lead, as well from other institutions within the government of Tanzania. As you have heard, Your Excellency, they deal with gypsum boards and they produce gypsum powder, and they work in the coastal region. Currently, their investment provides more than 150 direct jobs for Tanzanians and over 500 jobs indirectly. They have signed performance contract with my institution, and we continue to work with them and support them throughout their business. Their investment to our country is also important because it helps us lower import bill on the commodities that we would have otherwise have to import from outside the country. The additional investment that they have informed us is close to 50 million euros, their expansion that they want to invest, and we will be there hand-holding them and supporting them through that investment process from the beginning to the end. That is our duty that is bestowed upon our institution by the government of Tanzania, and this is my promise to each and every one of you as investors coming to our country. We will support you to make sure that your investment succeeds and you make money in Tanzania. I humbly submit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gilliard Terry, Executive Director of Tanzania Investment Center. His Excellency, guest of honor, now I have the honor to welcome Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, Minister of Investment, Industry and Trade, for welcoming address and later on for keynote address from the guest of honor. You are welcome, Honorable.
The guest of honor, Your Excellency Dr. Philip Isidore Mpango, Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania, Honorable Modric Soraga, Minister of State, President's Office, Labor, Economy and Investment, Zanzibar Revolutionary Government, Honorable Olivia Bech, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness from France, Honorable Helena Koenig, Deputy Secretary General of the European External Action Service, Honorable Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the European Union in Tanzania, Mr. Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank, Honorable Ministers present with us here, Honorable Deputy Ministers present with us here, Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Excellency Ambassadors of Tanzania in European Union member countries, Excellency Ambassadors of European Union member countries in Tanzania, Mheshimiwa Mariam Ditopile, Makamu Mwenyekiti wa Kamati ya Kudumu ya Bunge ya Kilimo, Biashara na Mazingira, natambua upo pamoja na wajumbe wetu wa kamati hii, Mheshimiwa Mwanyika na Mheshimiwa Mugungusi, karibuni sana tushiriki kwa pamoja kujenga uchumi wetu. Heads of government institutions, heads of private sector companies, ladies and gentlemen, Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, honorable guest of honor, let me take this opportunity to thank the Almighty God for granting us with time and healthy, so much so that we are able and manage to attend this very important historical forum, which puts together investors and business communities of Tanzania and the European Union. It is of great honor and privilege to express our profound gratitude to you, guest of honor, for accepting our invitation to officiate this important forum on behalf of Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of the United Republic of Tanzania. Allow me also to appreciate the strong support and cooperation of European Union delegates here in Tanzania, led by His Excellency Ambassador Manfredo Fanti, for partnering with the Ministry in the preparation and organization of this historic event. Honorable guest of honor, the main theme of First Tanzania and the European Union Business and Investment Forum is Tap Tanzania's untapped investment opportunities. This forum is very crucial since it aims to showcase Tanzania's potential opportunities and the comparative advantage for European Union investors and business communities. Investors and business communities from both Tanzania and the European Union will have opportunity to discuss the best way to exploit untamed investment opportunities in specific sectors of economy, and allow me to mention just a few of them. We start with agriculture. That's one of the areas that we are seeing, but also tourism, energy, minerals, ICT, transport and logistics, construction, finance, for which we will provide also a platform for effective private-public dialogue to further improve the business environment in Tanzania. Honorable guest of honor, this forum is expected. We were expecting to have almost 600 participants, but till yesterday we had registration of over 800 delegates from European Union and Tanzania business communities. And until now, we are almost 700, as mentioned by the Permanent Secretary from the Ministry. Honorable member countries worth euro 3,444.23 million and created about 70,393 jobs for Tanzanians. Therefore, this business and investment partnership between Tanzania and the European Union plays a great and pivotal role in Tanzania's GDP contribution and employment creation. It is our hope that through this forum, business and investment ties between our parties will be intensified. Honorable guest of honor, in this forum also, we are expecting to have a vibrant discussion with the sector-specific honorable ministers and investors, together with business communities from both Tanzania and the European Union. These discussions aim to unlock the untamed potentials available in each sector and come up with some recommendations on improving business and investment climate in Tanzania and the European Union. The forum will also offer a platform for business-to-business meetings, direct interactions between firms and policymakers, that's B2G, and between companies and financing institutions. I would like to take this opportunity to encourage all participants, specifically from European Union, to visit exhibitions both outside the conference hall, so that you can learn about our investment procedures and at least buy some of our made in Tanzania products from our SMEs exhibitors that are outside this conference room. Honorable guest of honor, with these few remarks, my task now is to welcome you to deliver your speech and officiate this important event for us in Tanzania and the European Union. Mheshimiwa Makamu wa Rais, karibu sana ili useme nasi. Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kijaji, for welcoming Vice President. Honorable Vice President, the floor is ready for your keynote address. You are warmly welcome. We can start.
You may be seated. Honorable Dr. Ashatu Kijaji, Member of Parliament, Minister of Investment, Industries and Trade. Honorable Modric Saroga, Minister of State, President's Office, Economy, Labor and Investment, Zanzibar. Honorable Olivier Bet, Minister Delegate for Foreign Trade and Economic Attractiveness of the Republic of France. Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers present. Honorable Helena Schoenig, Deputy Secretary General for Economic and Global Issues, European External Action Service of the EU. Honorable Thomas Ostros, Vice President, European Investment Bank. Your Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the European Union to the United Republic of Tanzania and the East African Community. Honorable Amos Makala, Regional Commissioner, Dar es Salaam. Honorable Members of Parliament, led by Honorable Mariam Ditopile, the Vice Chairperson of the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Agriculture, Industry and Trade, Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Excellency, Ambassadors and High Commissioners from European Union Member States, Executive Directors of the Tanzania Investment Center and Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority, business leaders, heads of government institutions and private sector companies, representatives of our development partners and non-government organizations, investors from Tanzania and EU member states, members of the press, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very delighted and honored to officiate this first ever Tanzania EU Business Forum. On behalf of my President, Her Excellency, Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, I wish to welcome you all to this very important forum. Karibuni sana Dar es Salaam, the harbor of peace. Welcome to Tanzania, the land of Kilimanjaro, which is the rooftop of Africa, the Serengeti National Park, which is renowned for the ritual wildebeest migration, and spicy islands of Zanzibar. We are greatly honored by your presence, and we look forward to engage and partner with you. Her Excellency President Samia commends the good and growing cooperation that we have had with the European Union since the 1970s. The government values very highly the support we have been getting from the EU to complement our development efforts. Overall, it is estimated that Tanzania has, over time, received bilateral and program support from the EU to the tune of $3 billion. But of special mention is the much-needed life-saving vaccines that we received from the EU to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Her Excellency, the President, is looking forward to this forum to deliver further on strengthening of our partnership with the European Union and member states, especially targeting to stimulate EU investments in Tanzania, expand regional businesses, and bolster domestic private sector development. Excellencies, As we have been told, we are graced with over 700 participants in this forum, of whom we have investors from all the 27 member states of the European Union and over 150 Tanzanian companies. This is indeed very impressive, and it is a clear signal of the prime importance of this meeting and the readiness of both Tanzania and the European Union to scale up investment cooperation on the ground. We are grateful to the EU Secretariat for availing us with this opportunity to host this important forum, which, as we have heard, goes by this theme, Seize Tanzania's Untapped Investment Opportunities. Allow me also to extend special thanks to His Excellency Manfredo Fanti, Ambassador of the EU to the United Republic of Tanzania and the EAC, also our Trade and Investment Ministry and related institutions for a well-prepared forum. I went through the program and found the forum to be tailor-made and allows for diverse engagements and business matching. With such diversity, I am confident that the participants will have fruitful and in-depth exchange over the 2 days, and the outcome of this forum will indeed usher in a new era of significantly higher trade and investment. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the Tanzania government under President Samia is focused on building a vibrant economy underpinned by 4 pillars, namely reform, reconciliation, resilience, and rebuilding. We call them the 4 R's. Now, on reform, the government is dedicated to consolidating policy, institutional and regulatory reforms to improve the business environment. The reforms seek to promote consistency and predictability of policies, laws, and regulations. It aims also to enhance transparency, address red tape, and other related bottlenecks to trade and investment. A number of milestones have been recorded so far in implementing these reforms. We have rationalized institutional mandates and scrapped over 230 nuisance taxes and levies that were thwarting growth of businesses. On the same note, Tanzania has strengthened cooperation frameworks on taxation matters, including avoidance of double taxation. So far, we have already concluded and signed agreements with 10 countries on avoidance of double taxation and prevention of tax evasion. Furthermore, the government has taken serious measures to improve efficiency in revenue collection and administration, and these include enhancing fairness and efficiency in assessment, ensuring timely VAT refunds, and digitalization of tax systems, including the online self-service platform that allows the taxpayers to file returns, initiate payments, and access other tax services. We also have cargo tracking system, electronic single window that allows taxpayers to lodge their trade transactions quickly, and also the use of electronic fiscal management systems for verification of claims. The government has also amended the Tax Revenue Appeals Act, Cap 408, to accommodate alternative dispute resolution mechanisms and hence reduce bureaucracy in addressing tax appeals. In addition, steps have been taken to strengthen and modernize the Tanzania Investment Center and the Zanzibar Investment Promotion Authority to be able to serve effectively as one-stop centers for investment promotion and facilitation. Another groundbreaking reform has been the enactment of a new Tanzania Investment Act of 2022 to replace that of 1997. And the new law introduces a level playing field. It shortens the time for obtaining an investment license from 14 to 7 working days, and also granted access to international arbitration to the parties to settle disputes, either in accordance with Tanzanian arbitration laws or the International Center for the Settlement of Investment Disputes, or within the framework of any bilateral or multilateral agreement on investment protection agreed to by the government of Tanzania and the government of the country from which the investor originates. With regard to reconciliation, the government and the ruling party, CCM, have taken bold steps to further open up the civic and political space. Her Excellency President Samia continues to stress the need to adhere to the principles of good political and economic governance, rule of law, and social inclusivity, aiming at empowering the youth as well as attaining a 50-50 gender balance. In addition, dialogue with investors and business leaders within and outside the country has been carried out under the championship of Her Excellency the President, aiming at opening up Tanzania to the global economy and build investors' confidence and trust. With regard to building socioeconomic resilience, amidst the recurring global shocks and impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the government, among others, has implemented a comprehensive plan to mitigate the effects of the pandemic, stimulate growth, and safeguard macroeconomic stability. And this includes the COVID-19 socioeconomic response plan, which entailed improvement of social services, economic empowerment, and monetary policy interventions to increase liquidity and revitalize the sectors that were hit hardest by the pandemic, especially tourism, trade, and the financial sector. On rebuilding the economy, the government has capitalized on previous achievements and continued to implement mega projects. And this is reflected by a sizable increase in the development budget, which has now reached 45% of the total budget in fiscal year 2021-22, in order to enhance the productive capacity of the economy. Tanzania is currently positioning herself to boost intra-regional trade, and especially with landlocked neighbors. The ongoing construction of a multi-standard gauge railway is in good progress, and we will soon be launching its first operation for the 500-kilometer section which connects Dar es Salaam and the administrative capital city of Dodoma. In the medium term, the standard gauge railway network is set to be extended up to Musongati and Gitega in Burundi and Kindu in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And this will open the Musongati and Gitega mines of lithium and nickel, as well as facilitate transport of other cargo to and from the port of Dar es Salaam. Likewise, the Grand Julius Nyerere hydroelectric power project is now at 80.2% to completion, and is expected to generate 2,115 megawatts and thereby raise our generation capacity to around 5,000 megawatts for domestic use, including countrywide rural electrification and export to neighboring countries. The government has also improved the efficiency and expanded capacity of our ports, Dar es Salaam, Tanga, Mtwara, including also the completion of the Kuala Dry Port to support port operations and decongest Dar es Salaam. Now, relatedly, to reduce the cost of clearance, the Tanzania Shipping Agencies Corporation, TASAC, its services are now confined to only hazardous consignments. Apart from these mega projects, other initiatives include accelerated construction of trunk and regional roads, the Royal Tour film, which was championed by Her Excellency the President, to showcase Tanzania's pride and revitalize the tourism sector post-COVID-19. Of recent, we have embarked on a program which we call Building a Better Tomorrow, a youth initiative for agribusiness, which aims at tapping into the youth labor force, which accounts to nearly 2/3 of our population. Furthermore, substantial investments have been made in the social service sectors, education, health, water, and so on, in order to improve the quality of life and human capital. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, payoffs from the above reforms have already been quite substantial. Among other things, we have observed that the total value of registered foreign investments quadrupled from $1.1 billion in 2020 to $4.5 billion in 2022. The number of tourist arrivals more than doubled from 620,867 in 2020 to 1,454,920 in 2022. Liquidity enhancement and prudent monetary policy implementation resulted in a rebound of annual credit growth to the private sector to a record level of 22.5% in December of 2022, compared with only 10% in the corresponding period of 2021, and an average of only 9.3% over the period 2015-16 to 2019-20. Real GDP is now back on the recovery path from the growth rate of 4.8% in 2020 to 4.9% in 2021, and an average of 5.2% over the first, second, and third quarter of 2022. In the medium term, that is from 2023 to 2027, real GDP growth rate is projected at above 6.0%, converging to the pre-crisis growth average of 6.7%. Headline inflation remained moderate despite continued pressure on food and energy prices. In 2022, inflation averaged 4.3% compared with 3.7% in 2021, which is still within the target band of 3 to 7% and the East African Community average of 10%. With such a growth momentum, Tanzania has become one of the fastest growing economies in sub-Saharan Africa, exceeding the regional average of 4.7% in 2021 and 3.8% in 2022. And this is according to the World Bank reports, as well as the IMF update of January 2023. and we are confident that we are making steady progress and turning into a bright spot for investment with a good rate of return. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, Tanzania has a very strong desire to attract foreign direct investment and capitalize on our rich natural resource endowments and a strategic geographical location. While we are aware of the turbulence of the geopolitics, we are also conscious of the opportunities that come with it, particularly on enhancing food security and the agricultural sector as a whole. We are now in the process of preparing the next Tanzania development vision for another 25 years, where we envision to transform the national economy from a lower middle income country to join the rank of upper middle income countries. This will certainly require, among other things, increased investment and trade, and hence we are really optimistic that this forum will be an important lever towards this objective. As we are embarking on reforms undertaken and the achievements so far, Tanzania welcomes investments that build on our capabilities in reaping the demographic dividend, pursuing greener pathways, ensuring higher agricultural productivity and food security, harness science, technology, and innovation, and tap into the fourth industrial revolution. Nonetheless, I will wish to highlight selected investment priorities that the government seeks to further unlock in order to accelerate the socio-economic development of our country. Advantage of the investment opportunities from Agenda 1030 that seeks to promote agribusiness and increase agricultural sector growth to 10% by 2030. The approach that we have adopted is to introduce cluster farming for the youth. This is the Building a Better Tomorrow that I alluded to earlier, which requires significant investment in mechanization and digital platforms. We are also targeting to undertake large-scale commercial farming of crops such as sugarcane, wheat, sunflower, grapes, maize, and horticulture, as well as deep-sea fishing, aquaculture, and ranching. With a great potential for Tanzania to become the food basket of the region and beyond, we are inviting investors to establish agro-processing industries and food innovation hubs. Second is tourism. This is another wanting area for investment, given the ample marine resources along our 1,000-kilometer coastline, as well as Zanzibar and Pemba Islands. And the opportunities include building of tourism infrastructure, including hotels, sports arena, conferences and hospitals, game parks, construction of golf courses, sea and lake cruising, and development of ecotourism facilities. Third is logistics. The combination of a growing manufacturing sector and the fact that Tanzania is the de facto gateway and trans-corridor for goods to and from landlocked countries in Eastern and Southern Africa, it makes logistics to be one of the most attractive investment opportunities, ranging from port development and digitization of services, construction of toll roads, storage facilities, dry ports, airport handling services, skills enhancement, and so on. Another area that may be of interest to some of you relates to the energy sector. And this includes oil and gas exploration in Zanzibar, investment in renewable and other forms of clean energy, utilizing solar, windmills, and solid waste, The country's solar radiation levels range between 1.8 megawatt hours and 2.2 megawatt hours per square meter, which is equivalent to Spain, while the high wind power potential covers 10% of the country, which rivals California. As is well known, ICT and digital transformation is among the key drivers of rapid development. Our national ICT policy advocates for investment in building digital infrastructure, such as data farms and digital technology institutes, to enhance skills and capitalize on the cutting-edge digital innovations, such as robotic engineering, artificial intelligence, etc. We therefore welcome investors from the EU to join us in this endeavor. Other areas include value addition industries to support the expanding apiculture and mining sectors. Tanzania is also an ideal location for pharmaceutical industries, edible oils and textile industries, and livestock and leather industries. Real estate is another lucrative venture driven by the booming tourism industry, as well as growing cities, including the new capital city of Dodoma. Alongside infrastructure developments in Dodoma, the government is making efforts to support greening initiatives in the capital. We are conscious of the global environment and what our partnership can achieve. Inclusion of green spaces in our cities is part of nature-based solutions that offer innovative approaches to increase the quality of urban settlements and contribute to reduction of greenhouse gases and global warming. It is along these lines that we are therefore welcoming establishment of green parks in Dodoma City, investments in renewable energy and climate-smart infrastructure in the fast-growing cities, including the transformation of solid waste into fertilizer and biogas. In addition, you may also wish to explore investing in carbon trading. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the EU-Tanzania Business Forum is indeed a unique opportunity to boost and sustain our achievements. I take note of the existing investment and trade levels reached so far. Total trade between Tanzania and the EU nearly doubled from $1.2 billion in 2019 to $2.1 billion in 2022, accounting for 10% of total trade in 2022. The FDI stock of the European Union-based companies was $3.2 billion in 2019, compared to around $2 billion in 2022, accounting for about 13% of total FDI stock in 2022. Tanzania also has been receiving a good number of tourists from the European Union, from 362,393 in 2019 to 449,200 visitors in 2022, which is about 31% of total visitors in 2022. The EU has also played a great role in turning around tourism earnings, being among the 10 top spenders in 2022. And despite the achievements, the trade balance between the EU and Tanzania remained in favor of the EU, with the trade deficit of around $500 million in 2019 and $900 million in 2022. We therefore bank on this forum to contribute to addressing this trade imbalance. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude my remarks, I wish to once again reiterate that we expect this forum to be a catalyst to increase EU investment in Tanzania and a venue to build mutual confidence and trust. We look forward to a partnership that will align with our aspiration to be not only the regional business hub, but also a food granary for the world. Keeping in mind the vast domestic market of 61.7 million people, which is, by the way, projected to double by 2044, we have a regional East African community market of not less than 177 million people, a SADC market of over 300 million people, and the African Continental Free Trade Area, which covers 55 African countries, with a market of not less than 1.4 billion people. Your investments are guaranteed to exponentially succeed. It is our hope that this very first EU-Tanzania Business Forum is the beginning of many more to come. As we have embarked on the journey, we look forward to having candid discussions on the opportunities and your fears and the constraints that hinder faster progress in stimulating investment and trade from the EU member states. Please accompany us in this journey so that we go far. Bring business financing of significance as announced by the European Investment Bank. Bring the technology and experience, particularly in high payoff investments. I also wish to take this opportunity to encourage the business community in Tanzania to take advantage of this forum to learn, share experiences, network, and look out for business opportunities. Na hapa ningependa kusisitiza kwa Kiswahili. Kwa wafanyabiashara wa Kitanzania, tumieni fursa hii adhimu kujifunza, kubadilishana uzoefu, kufahamiana na wawekezaji mbalimbali na kutafuta fursa za kushirikiana na kuingia makubaliano ya kibiashara. With these remarks, I now have the honor and pleasure to announce that the first EU-Tanzania Business Forum is officially opened. I wish you successful deliberations and conclusion of many deals, aside from the welcomed agreements and MOUs that have been signed before us on air transport, port services, investment in the Kakono Hydro Project, the KNAF Gypsum Tanzania Limited. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind attention.
Asante sana. Okay, you may sit seated. His Excellency Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, we appreciate your keynote address and marks the end of the opening session. We are now allow you to proceed with other program, and we request the pressure of the Dr. Kijaji and I table to escort you from the conference room. Brass band, please.
Na mtazamaji wa TBC1 ni Dr. Philip Mpango, makamu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania, akiwa ameandika historia kwa kufungua kongamano la kwanza la kimataifa kati ya wawekezaji na wafanyabiashara kutoka Tanzania na Umoja wa Ulaya. Yaani nchi zote 27 za Umoja wa Ulaya wako hapa kwa ajili ya kujadili masuala ya kibiashara na uwekezaji kati ya Tanzania pamoja na na Umoja wa Ulaya. Miongoni mwa mambo makubwa ambayo makamu wa rais Dr. Philip Mpango ameyasisitiza ni pamoja na kuwasisitiza wafanyabiashara wa Tanzania kuhakikisha kwamba wanatumia kongamano hili kubwa la kimataifa, kuhakikisha kwamba wanapata uzoefu, wanajifunza, lakini pia wanaingia makubaliano ya kibiashara kati yao pamoja na wawekezaji na wafanyabiashara kutoka Umoja wa Ulaya. Lakini miongoni mwa jambo lingine ambalo makamu wa rais amesisitiza ni katika sekta ambazo zinahitaji uwekezaji hapa nchini, ikiwemo sekta ya kilimo, ambapo makamu wa rais amebainisha kwa wawekezaji na wafanyabiashara kutoka Umoja wa Ulaya kwamba Tanzania ipo mipango yake na miradi yake ya kilimo ambayo inafanya ni miradi ya kilimo biashara, ambao lengo kubwa ni kuweza kulisha nchi zote hizi za ukanda wa Afrika, tukizungumzia Afrika Mashariki pamoja na kusini mwa Afrika, yani SADC, pamoja na Afrika kwa ujumla. Kwa hiyo kuna soko kubwa endapo watakuja kuwekeza kwenye sekta ya kilimo na kilimo biashara hapa Tanzania. Lakini sekta nyingine ambayo amewakaribisha wawekezaji ni kwenye sekta ya utalii, ambapo amewakaribisha waje kuwekeza kwenye utalii, ambapo kuna utalii katika maeneo mbalimbali hapa nchini. Pia uwekezaji kwenye viwanda vya kuongeza thamani bidhaa za Tanzania. Kama unavyofahamu, tunazalisha katika maeneo mbalimbali na tuna malighafi nyingi ambayo inakuwa inasafirishwa kama malighafi. Kwa wamewaambia kuna nafasi kubwa sana ya kuja kuwekeza kwenye viwanda vya kuongeza thamani hapa nchini. Lakini pia wamewakaribisha makao makuu ya nchi Dodoma, na akasema kwamba serikali inaendeleza mpango wa kuendelea kuboresha makao makuu ya nchi Dodoma. Kwa hiyo balozi zote na mataifa yote yanakaribishwa makao makuu Dodoma. Lakini pia jambo lingine ambalo makamu wa rais amesisitiza ni swala zima la urari wa biashara kati ya Tanzania pamoja na Umoja wa Ulaya. Kwa takwimu ni kwamba kwenye urari wa biashara Umoja wa Ulaya wanafaidika zaidi, kwa maana ya kwamba wao wanauza zaidi bidhaa kwetu kuliko sisi ambavyo tunauza huko nje, kwa maana ya kwenye soko la Umoja wa Ulaya. Kwa hiyo amewashauri wafanyabiashara kutoka Tanzania kuangalia fursa mbalimbali za bidhaa ambazo wanaweza kwenda kuuza kwenye soko la Ulaya, ambao ndio lengo kubwa la kongamano hili, mtazamaji wa TBC1, la kuwakutanisha wafanyabiashara na wawekezaji kutoka Tanzania na Umoja wa Ulaya, ambapo tunazungumza zaidi ya wafanyabiashara 600 na wawekezaji wako hapa wakija kuangazia fursa za uwekezaji na fursa za biashara ambazo zinapatikana hapa Tanzania. Nikushukuru sana kwa kuambatana nasi tangu tulivyoanza matangazo haya, ambapo hii leo makamu wa rais Dr. Philip Mpango amefungua rasmi, na kesho ambapo ni hitimisho la kongamano hili atafunga rais wa Zanzibar Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi. Mimi nilikuwa mtangazaji wako, lakini ni washukuru sana watendaji wote waliofanikisha matangazo haya yanakufikia, akiwemo mwongozaji wa matangazo haya ambaye pia ndiye alikuwa mchanganya picha Henry Mbilinyi. Kwa upande wa mafundi tulikuwa na Rodrick Po na Musoma Nyitika. Kwa upande wa sauti tulikuwa na Haretemba. Kwa upande wa umeme tulikuwa na Leonard Msingi. Kwa upande wa watangazaji ndio mimi Vumilia Mwasha. Lakini pia kwa upande wa mtandao wa kijamii kote huko umetupata TBC online, lakini pia kwa upande wote kwa maana ya Facebook, Twitter pamoja na Instagram kwa jina la TBC online. Aliyekuwa anasababisha unapata yote haya ni Adrina Mariki, madereva ni Salum Ndumbikwa na Godlisten Tem, lakini kwa upande wa wapiga picha wale hakikisha kwamba unapata picha vilivyo ni George Kasembe, Furaha Eliabu, Ahmed Mbaruk na Rema Baumba. Mpaka wakati mwingine, mtazamaji wa TBC1, endelea kutazama vipindi vinavyofuata. TBC, ukweli na uhakika.
Asante sana Vumilia Mwasha. Hakika tutaendelea kuvuna mengi kutokana na kongamano hilo ambalo linaendelea hii leo ikiwa siku ya kwanza, lakini tunataraji pia